Hi everyone, this is Dan, and this is Pitt #1 by Brian Hotton and Dale Keown. So this is continuing on the Image comic series. I only got one more left of these. This is the second to last. So Pitt came out, I think this is the first of 93, I believe. Yeah, January 1993. So first thing of the year. Dale Keown's very well known for his run on Hulk. He kind of modernized the Hulk look. Though, I mean, the original Hulk, obviously, as is drawn by, Buscema and Kirby and the rest is excellent. But the sort of modern interpretation of the Hulk has a lot of influences from Dale Keown. He's also definitely one of the fan favorites of the Image comic artists of the day. And his creation or entry into the market was Pitt, which came out January 1993. And so pretty interesting cover. I've always kind of liked these covers that are just a character looking at you, though this is like a little too close for my taste. Though, you know, it definitely will catch your eye on a spinner rack, right? So, Pitt. So I am not going to, criticize Dale Keown too much because his art is fantastic in this book. I've got nothing really bad to say about the art, other than it's a little bit gritty at times, but I think that kind of gives it its character. The writing, once again, in this case the writing is by Brian Hotton. And I guess I should say the story direction, really. I don't know if Dale drove the story or Brian drove the story, but once again, we have yet another Image comic where you just get thrown into the mix and you're kind of just presented things and explained really nothing. So you just kind of have to go with it. And, once again, just like Wildcats, just like Wetworks, or I should say Cyberforce, it doesn't really work all that well. So Pitt is, admittedly, it's a cool comic. It's really cool. So we open up, we're in New York City, you've got a biker gang driving out drinking and being rowdy, and then what the hell, there's this freaking humanoid animal on the streets, and I don't know why they decide to pick a fight with it, because they're drunk, I guess. Smack this guy, and the monster beats the living crap out of them. You get some really cool action right here. So Dale Keown does action really well. I like the way this is done. Like, this is pretty cool. The classic Image artists, double page spreads. Everything's kind of a splash page right here. I will say this though, we have basically spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've spent more than half of this comic on this confrontation between this monster that hasn't been introduced yet and this biker gang. And while it's exciting and you definitely will flip through it really fast, I can't help but feel that if you were in a comic shop, like, why would you actually buy this book? Because, most of the story basically gets contained through the first 10 pages that you can flip through in, like, less than a couple seconds. So, like, if I was a little kid at a comic shop, I wouldn't even buy this because you could flip through it and read through this in, like, less than the time it takes for the comic shop owner to catch you, right? But anyway, yeah, some guy shoots this animal with a shotgun. It doesn't work, and then you get, another portrait mode, and this kid wakes up and screams. You find out this kid is having a nightmare. Maybe that was his nightmare going on. Not really explained, but it tells you to go read Youngblood #4 to find out about this kid. And considering how much I dislike Youngblood #1, I think I'm going to pass. We jump over to a police station. We get a bunch of people making Simpson references. I don't know why, but there's a ton of Simpson references in this. And you got a new detective named Bobby Harris. I was like, I don't know if that was like a jab towards Bob Harris at the time, but it's kind of interesting. So you get another Youngblood reference. Oh man, I'm kind of. So Pitt, this series only has I think 8 or 10 issues in it. So if you wanted to collect the whole run, you could totally do it really quickly. It's not expensive. This, by the way, like the other issues, I picked it up for less than this price. which tells you something about Image Comics and sort of their value over time, right? Then so yeah, I kind of like the way he draws the detective here, though. It's pretty nice. It's like a bit like cartoonish in a way, but not really. It's a little bit cleaner looking than, like, say, Todd McFarlane style. I kind of like this a lot. Though the inking here is like very like intense, a lot of black everywhere. And of course, what do we do? It's an Image comic character, so from the early '90s. So of course we have chains everywhere. And there's some omniscient voice talking to this character, and then he's, kind of talking back to him after he's beating the living crap out of this biker gang and taking their clothes and stuff. And then you have this kind of jump to, I don't know what this is. It's like something like the Seer and the Creed, and again, kind of confusing. Don't really know what's going on other than it's like aliens. I guess I'm guessing the concept here is that Pitt is an alien, I suppose. I'm not really sure. It's not explained, so I don't know, deal with it. But we finally get an introduction to the character. The character is introduced as Pitt. Ironically enough, in the first issue of Spawn actually isn't like named. It's actually just Al Simmons. And it isn't until the second issue that Spawn is actually named. Like, that's Spawn. So at least they make a good job this time around of actually like, yeah, this is Pitt. Now, they probably should have just done it in the first couple pages, but, well, what am I going to say? It's just, it is what it is. So there's some slowdown in the subways, and they're looking at this train that's been kind of bashed, and some flash occurs, and then Bobby Harris and Smithers, the detective, come running down to see what the commotion is, and basically these Fifth Element looking aliens are kicking everyone's asses, and left on a cliffhanger, and we're supposed to go get the next issue, Dead or Alive. You get some extra art by Mark Silvestri, and I think Eric Larson. Some winter sale, etc. Covers it all. Wizard magazine, etc., 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 etc. Yeah. So, what do I think about it? So I can't really hate on Dale Keown much because he didn't write it. He had someone else write it, which is probably for the best. But I will say this with Brian Hotton, you didn't explain anything, and I don't know what's going on. So this and many other Image comics of this era basically lived off of using intrigue and mystery, and kind of like, in a way, they tried to ride pretty heavily on their art and be like, the art is so cool that they have to go buy the next issue to find out what goes on. And the problem with that is that if you don't have a very good second issue, it's not so great, right? So, and it's a, I don't know what to say. Like, Savage Dragon is probably the only one that really kind of doesn't do this and actually really introduces the character. I mean, not the origins specifically, but who that character is and the mentality of this character. All I can really tell about Pitt is he likes to fight, and he's pretty menacing looking. Right, that's pretty much it. So his actions are beating the shit out of biker gangs and stealing their crap, and I guess arguing with whatever the voice is in his head. I don't know. I don't even know who the kid is. You got to go read Youngblood, and I'm not going to read Youngblood. Just fuck no. And you got a bunch of Simpsons references and detectives in New York and whatnot. I don't know. Nothing's really explained, and it's just Image Comics. The art's really nice. It is really, really nice. Anyhow, I forgot to mention in the news, Dale Keown has continued to keep drawing over the years. I think he still draws every once in a while for Marvel and I think DC too. But he recently got in the news because he was doing work for Ethan Van Sciver. I think he's going to be drawing a cover for Cyberfrog, maybe some other stuff. I don't know. We'll see. That actually probably is a good fit for him for his art style. I will say this, I'm not going to hate Pitt too hard because ultimately the creator, Dale Keown, didn't write this book. He just drew it. I think Dale has kind of stayed in his lane as far as just being an artist and just working on his art. And I think, hey, that's pretty respectful. And I like honestly, I like the art in Pitt. It's really good. Unfortunately, the story is kind of the same story as Cyberforce and whatchamacallit. Oh man, it's so forgettable that I forgot the name. Wildcats. Yeah, it's just is there a story here? Yes, no, maybe so. I guess I don't know. Anyhow, that's the video. Let me know what you think. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. You got any comments on Pitt number 1? Leave it down below, and I will see you next time.